So you've probably heard about Microsoft's MD-102 certification floating around. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and really figure out what this thing is. If you've ever asked, what is it, who's it for, and, why should I even care, then you are in exactly the right place. Let's get into it.
Okay, let's just get right to the point. What is MD-102? Well, it's the official exam you take to become a Microsoft 365 Certified Endpoint Administrator Associate. It's a bit of a mouthful, but what it really means is that it proves you know how to handle all the endpoints. And by that, we mean every single device, like laptops, phones, tablets, all of it, that connects to a company's network. And we're not just talking Windows here. We mean the whole shebang. Mac OS, Android, iOS, the whole ecosystem.
So that's the what. But what about the who? What does an endpoint administrator actually do all day? I'll tell you this, it's way more than just being the person who fixes computers when they break. This role is really about overseeing the entire life of every single device in a company. Yeah, as you can see, this job covers a lot of ground. You're responsible for everything from getting a brand new laptop out of the box and setting it up correctly, all the way to managing who can access what and keeping everything secure. And here's the really crucial part for today's world, there's a huge emphasis on cloud services. That means you're managing all these devices from anywhere, not just from some server closet down the hall. Okay, so that's the job. But let's be real. You want to know what's in it for you, right? Why should you put in all the effort to study for and pass the MD-102 exam? Let's talk about the real, tangible benefits this can have on your career and, your wallet. Let's talk numbers because they definitely matter. One of the biggest and most immediate perks is financial. If you've got this certification, you're a top contender for jobs like a Windows administrator or an M365 administrator, and you can see the salary range reflects that. Earning this is basically like holding up a big sign to employers that says, hey, I have the valuable modern skills you need right now. And it's not just about the starting salary. This certification can be a serious rocket booster for your career. Just look at this comment from a user on Reddit. They went from a tech role to an engineering role in just 6 months after getting certified. That's a massive leap, and it just goes to show how this piece of paper can unlock doors to bigger and better positions. So, why is the demand so high? Well, think about it. Every modern business, big or small, depends on having their devices managed securely and efficiently. The MD-102 certification is that clear stamp of approval. It validates your hands-on skills in a way a resume just can't, making you a perfect fit for these essential roles in IT support, sysadmin, and especially cloud security.
So we know the role, and we know why it's a great career move. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty. What skills, what technologies do you actually need to have down cold to pass the MD-102? Figuring this out is your first step to a solid study plan.
Whoa, okay, take a look at this chart. This right here tells you almost everything you need to know about what to study. A massive chunk, we're talking 40 to 45%, is all about managing, maintaining, and protecting devices. So if you're wondering where to spend your late-night study sessions, this is it. Focus on the practical, day-to-day security and operational tasks. And if that chart wasn't clear enough, listen to this quote from someone who took an early version of the exam. They said it's just all Intune. Now, that's probably a bit of an exaggeration, but the point is crystal clear. Microsoft Intune, their cloud-based management tool, is the star of the show. If you want to pass this exam, you absolutely have to get your hands dirty with Intune. No way around it. But, and this is important, it's not only Intune. It's really about understanding the whole ecosystem. The exam wants to know if you can make all these tools work together. You'll need to know Configuration Manager for your on-premise stuff, Windows Autopilot for those cool zero-touch deployments, Microsoft Entra ID for identities, and of course, Defender for keeping things secure. They all play together. Okay, so you're getting serious now. You know what the certification is, why it's so valuable, and what skills you need to master. If you're really thinking about taking the plunge, let's talk about the exam itself. Let's look at the practical details so you know exactly what you're walking into on test day. Here are the stats, the nuts and bolts. The exam code is MD-102. You get 2 hours for about 40 to 60 questions, and you need a 700 out of 1,000 to pass. But look at that format line. This is absolutely critical. It's not just a multiple choice quiz. You're going to get case studies and hands-on labs. This exam is designed to see if you can actually do the job, not just memorize facts.
Phew, we have covered a ton of ground, from the day-to-day job to the nitty-gritty of the exam. So let's bring it all home and boil it down to the big question. Is the MD-102 certification the right move for you? Let's do a quick recap. When you really think about it, getting the MD-102 does 4 huge things for you. First, it clearly defines you as a modern cloud-first admin. Second, it validates those super important skills in deployment and security. Third, it proves you're an expert with the tools that matter, especially Intune. And fourth, and maybe most importantly, it paves a clear road to a better job with better pay. So that's the question you have to ask yourself. Is this endpoint administrator path the right next step for your IT career? Given where the entire industry is heading, all in on cloud management and security, it's a really powerful opportunity for growth. It's definitely something to think about as you plan your next move. Thanks for watching.